Actually, I would like to stress that it's very important to look at first what I would call more the vulnerability issues that are more related to the senior. And then after that, the risk factors, which are more into the environment. And the abuser is usually part of the risk factors. But you need the two to have a situation. Sometimes you will have somebody which is very vulnerable, but they have a very good environment, so no abuse. And sometimes you have the contrary, somebody with almost no apparent vulnerability, but very high risk factors, and you will have an elder abuse situation. So it's something very, very important to be able to look at the full portrait and to put it into a life history or a perspective. I think it's so important because you have all these old dynamics that are there.
And I've dealt with a number of cases where the adult abuser was the child that was abused. The older adult became vulnerable. Now it was payback time. And those cases I find extremely difficult to handle. Because in some part of your mind, we have to be real, and you go, you know, here's this person, but they desperately needed help. Now they're 65 years old, their father's had a stroke, he's vulnerable. And that, I think, is horrifying to have to deal with, because that's where all your ethics are pulling all over the place, and you're going, oh my God, well, this person was a victim of incest, and now they're not feeding the person that victimized them, and you're doing this horrible ethical balance. And I think that's where workers have to be able to say, you know what, I can't work on this case, because I think that workers need to realize in this field, we all have buttons that are pushed. And when our buttons are being pushed, we're not going to be helpful to those people. So when we look at that person and only want to see them as prison, or we want to see, you know, we go, okay, I can understand you abusing that person. You need to walk away and give that to another worker, because I think too many times people are given a label and expected to deal with any situation that comes forward, especially health and social service practitioners. And you know what? You got to be real with yourself and say, this is too close to home. I want to see this person in prison, and I'm supposed to go and, you know, support them. I can't do that. And so that history really plays a really big part in the whole thing, and how the worker is actually going to deal with that individual.
It does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Yeah.
But you see also new situation. You do the study of the couple. There was no violence before, and at one point you see, usually it's not really violence that you will see, but some type of a neglect. And you're trying to see what is happening now in their couple that was not there before. And actually, we did a follow-up of in a full year in 3 CLSCs of all the cases of abuse. And one of the things that we did see in those couples is usually one of the two is in loss of autonomy, and it's creating a new balance or imbalance in the couple, and they're having a hard time to adjust. But we have to be very careful, because we think that it's going to be the person in loss of autonomy that will be the victim and the other one that will be the abuser. But a lot of times it's the contrary. So we have to look at all those dynamics.
Not assume.
Yeah, not assume, exactly.
We need to do something, but there's kind of there can be, for long-standing problems, a sort of a nihilism that it's something so entrenched or so long-standing. What am I going to be able to do about it now? Which can sort of stand in your way of now. Maybe I have a new opportunity to ask that question now that didn't get asked before.